This is the Hyundai Kona, which is the best-selling subcompact vehicle in Canada and Hyundai Canada's best-selling vehicle, period. This happens to be the brand new N-Line, which not only gets some tasty upgrades on the outside, but on the inside and under the hood as well. The Kona, in my opinion, has had a more sporty look than others in its class, and this N-Line just kicks it up a little bit. It's more enhanced, so this entire front area and the lower fascia is different on this N-Line. Of course, you have the N-Line badging. I think it actually looks really good. Now, these are the standard daytime running lights. These are not the headlamps. The headlamps are just below here. They're not too low, but they are below the daytime running lights. And standard, you do not get LED headlamps or tail lamps. If you go into the tech package in the US or the ultimate package in Canada, you do get those LED lights in the front and the back. We'll get to that package in a second. Onto the side, you have 18-inch wheels. I like the look of these. You have black mirrors, and you have integrated standard LED turn indicators right into the mirror here. And yeah, I like how it looks. Oh, you also have these body-colored wheel surrounds, or basically flares, and they look really good as well. You have a proximity key to get in and out of the vehicle and to lock it as well. And I kind of like how they have this kind of two-tone thing going with the black mirror and the black surrounds and the black roof rail. And it works with the white, even though I'm not a huge fan of white. I just drove it like not far here and it got all dirty here. There was a couple, I don't know, big clouds of insects that I ran into. And anyways, around the back, I do like the light treatment that they've done here. Up top, you have your brake and tail light assembly up top here, and you have a separate housing for your reverse lights and your signal lights down here. Usually I'm not a fan of vehicles that have brake lights lower down, so at least these brake lights are up top here, easier to see. Plus you have that third brake light integrated into this roof spoiler here. Down below you have a dual exhaust port. Now let's open this up. Now remember, this is a subcompact crossover or SUV, not even a compact. So I'm actually pretty surprised that I was able to fit the travel trunk in the rear here. Underneath, you actually have a spare tire. It's not a full size, but you do have a spare tire and a little bit of room there if you want to put some other things in. Plus, this actually goes and fits lower down this floor. So once we get that sat in there, you even have more height. As you can see, it kind of slopes down a little bit. Now, if you want more room, of course, there is a lever on the top of the seat. They fold 60-40, so you get more room there. It's almost completely flat. We can put this back in here, close her up, and take it for a drive. There's lots of features to talk about on the inside of this N-Line. First of all, this is the N-Line with the ultimate package. In the US, that is called the technology package or tech package. So in Canada, it's about $5,600. In the US, it's about $2,500 US dollars. And with that package, you get a lot of extra goodies. I'm not going to list all of them, so I'm going to just show them to you on the screen of this is what you get. So on the inside of this particular one, we have the upgraded 10.25-inch infotainment screen. Standard is an 8-inch, and then this also has the upgraded 10.25-inch driver gauge cluster as well. Standard is just over a 4-inch display with analog gauges, and it's very, very nice. It's inset quite well. It's shielded from the sun. This also has a head-up display. Now, this is not an integrated, well, it is integrated into the vehicle, but it's a flip-up glass that comes up from the top of the dash. It doesn't project onto the screen. It's very, very easy to read, though. I don't like the look of it as much, but I like how it looks with your eyes when you're actually looking at it. I don't know why. It just seems brighter and clearer to me than ones that are on the screen. Probably because it's a dedicated screen for that. Now, if you go for the 8-inch, which is the standard display, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto comes standard on all of them, but you get wireless Apple CarPlay on that one. On the 10.25-inch screen, you do not get wireless. I don't know why. I'm sure in the next iteration they'll probably address that. This also has automatic climate control, and one thing, I've mentioned this, that I love about a lot of Hyundai products is with their auto climate control, you have an option of 3 different fan speeds in auto. And right now I've got it on 3. Say I want it at 20.5 degrees, but I don't want it blaring at me, and I don't want to have to take it off auto. I can just go on to fan speed number 1. So I really, really like that feature. This one's also equipped with leather seating surfaces. That's part of the Tech or Ultimate package. Standard heated seats. You get a heated steering wheel on this one, as well as ventilated seats as well. So really, really loaded. You get a power sunroof, and of course you get lots of N-line goodies like the N steering wheel. I like the red anodized knobs and little accents throughout the cabin here, and even the red stitching on the seats is a really nice touch. Gives it a nice sporty feel to it. Of course, it's not all cosmetic when it comes to the Kona N-Line. The standard Kona comes with a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It puts out 147 horsepower, and it's matched to a CVT. Now, we were comparing this with a vehicle like the Kicks. Well, that one has a considerably less horsepower than the regular Kona. However, when you get into this N-Line, it even ups the game even more because you get a 1.6-liter turbocharged engine with 195 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. I love it when it matches up. It's easy for me to remember those numbers. This also comes standard with all-wheel drive. In the US, though, it's a little bit different because you can get the 1.6 turbocharged engine in the US on the limited trim. In Canada, only the N-Line gets the 1.6 turbo. Also, in Canada, it's standard all-wheel drive. In the US, you can opt for a front-wheel drive only, and if you want all-wheel drive, it's a $1,500 option. So not a huge premium to pay, definitely not. The all-wheel drive system in this N-Line is a predominantly front bias system, so most of the time you will be running front-wheel drive, which will save fuel, but torque is applied to the rear wheels when needed. If you do want full-time all-wheel drive, there is a button where you can lock the all-wheel drive on. Regardless of what engine you get, all all-wheel drive models get independent rear suspension, which is a big bonus. Also, this one comes with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission instead of that CVT. So that's going to make the drive a lot more engaging. You do have a drive mode switch here. We turn that. Things go red. We're into sport mode. There is a smart mode, which is kind of like an auto mode right now. We put our foot into it. You can really feel a lot more when that transmission gears down and kicks in. It's definitely a little bit more engaging. Off the line, really good pull and acceleration. After there's a slight bit of a delay, but after that, it's very engaging, and you're just hooked up right away. Mid-range is very good. I have to keep my speed down. We are speeding a little bit here. I like this. Does have traffic sign recognition. Now, even though this is a turbocharged engine, this takes regular fuel, which is a big welcome, especially for the price of gas these days. And the fuel economy of this is rated at 8.8 liters per 100K in the city and 7.4 on the highway. It's quite respectable for a vehicle with almost 200 horsepower. So we're going through some moderate corners right now. Okay, we are at a stoplight, and I have to merge up front there. We have auto start stop. Now there is a switch to turn that off. Hit that. Okay, we'll wait for the light. This also has an electronic parking brake. Okay, to the floor. There we go. That was to 80 kilometers an hour, everybody. This thing really does scoot along very well, especially for the size of it. Now, if this is not enough for you, coming in the winter, there is the Kona N. So not the N line, this is the real tuned N vehicle, just like the Veloster N. That one will have a 2-liter turbocharged engine, and it'll put out almost 100 horsepower more than what this puts out. It'll have an 8-speed, a wet dual clutch. It'll be a real performer, different types of brakes. But you know what? That may be a little bit much for some people, and that one will only come this time in a front-wheel drive configuration. So if all-wheel drive is something that you really are looking at, perhaps you live in winter climates where you get a lot of snow and you want that all-wheel drive, then this could be the perfect specimen for you. The suspension on this N line is tuned very well, in my opinion. I mentioned this does have independent rear suspension, and it just gives you a nice planted and secured feeling, and it feels very predictable whenever you're maneuvering this vehicle, regardless of speed. We're doing almost 100 kilometers an hour right now, and if you were to have to do any quick evasive maneuvers, it's not a white knuckle experience at all. You feel confident in your moves. All Konas come with a host of standard safety features. This Ultimate package or tech package also enhances that even more so, because it adds things like HDA, their highway driving assistant. So we are on a highway right now, as we mentioned, and I'm going to set it for 90 kilometers an hour. We can put the lane keep assist on, and we can let go. You can see it's going to track nice and straight on the road, and like other Hyundai products we've tested, it works very well, and actually works for a long time. And the nice thing about this, it also includes stop and go traffic as well. So when you are sitting in rush hour, you can apply that and it'll just kind of drive for you. Big fan of that. Now for the verdict. Performance-wise, well, there's not much to complain about this. You have almost 200 horsepower in a small little package. You got a dual clutch transmission for a more engaging drive. You have all-wheel drive. So yeah, this gets almost basically top marks for performance-wise. Styling, I like what they've done. You know what? If you don't like SUVs, you'll like the look of this, because it kind of doesn't, they kind of made it look so sporty that it doesn't look much like an SUV. However, if you don't want a regular hatchback and you want an SUV, well, it fits that mold as well. So they did a good job there. Value-wise, well, the base Kona starts at just under $22,000. This Kona N-Line starts at around $29,000. And if you want to add on that Ultimate package or Tech package, that's going to bring you up another $5,600. So this is going to be about 34,000 Canadian dollars. So value-wise, it's a lot more than the standard regular Kona, but you are getting a lot of features and a lot more vehicle for the money as well. Family approved? Well, kinda. We did have the family in here. It will fit them in there. Not a whole bunch of room though. You do have a decent cargo room. Remember, this is a subcompact crossover. This isn't even a compact crossover. And take that into consideration. If you think this is too small, just go up to the next level vehicle. Go into something like the Tucson. You'll get a lot more room. But for some people, this will be the right size. If you live in the city, maybe you're a single person or a couple, this is a great size and a lot of fun to drive as well. Overall, I think they packaged it quite well with the engine and the all-wheel drive and the transmission. However, that Ultimate or Tech package, I find it's a little bit on the steep side. You do get a ton of features for that, but I kind of wish maybe they offered like a half of that package, or like say you wanted the LED headlamps and tail lamps, that you can get that in a different package instead of having to splash out over $5,000 for that big Ultimate package. And this thing is really fun to drive. I could easily live with this vehicle on a day-to-day basis, as long as I didn't have to carry a lot of people around. And you know what, if you do want more performance, which most people will be fine with this N line, but if you do want more, you can wait for that Kona N that's coming out. That thing's going to be a beast, but for a lot of people that's just pure overkill, and it doesn't have all-wheel drive, making this probably the perfect N to get. Anyways, that's my review of the new Kona N line. Hopefully we'll get that Kona N to drive soon, and we'll put that to the test. But if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and I try to get your answers if you have any questions to them. And make sure like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Everyday Review. Safe driving.